taught her how to drink it, with the misunderstanding that vodka is about the same strength as champagne. Shenanigans ensued.
Turns out when you have not been drinking vodka all your life, it hits you a little bit differently than if you are an experienced vodka drinker.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Lydia's godmother Hilda, looking for something less scandalous for her goddaughter to do, got Sebastian to dance with her. Um, and Hilda also instructed fellow goddaughter Edith, no waltzing. It's too scandalous. Um, Meanwhile, Phoebe came to the wrong conclusions when Irina and Phaedra were dancing, and then Lou and Phaedra had a drinking contest. Um,
Yeah, that was fun.
it was fun. Um,
After
there
the
were
snow had begun to fall, so that everyone was snowed in and unable to go home. Irina had to host everybody overnight.
She did. We had some kissing at midnight. Irina kissing Phoebe, Chastity kissing Ivan, and also giving names to Ivan's muscles. Um, we had
I
Duchess
forgot about that.
we had Duchess Margaret, the dog, doing zoomies, and doing the zoomies. Um, and then Phaedra walked right past Sebastian, kissed another soldier on the cheek, and then gave Sebastian a handshake. Poor guy. Uh, Phoebe passed out in Lou's room. Um, and Lou, upon returning to her room, um, she spent the night in Lydia's room.
Ah,
Um, and so,
and I
um,
believe Irina came to check
that's
on
the idea.
Phoebe and is aware that Phoebe did not spend the night in her own room.
That is correct.
Delightful. All in all, a successful New Year's Eve.
Truly.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else major that happened that anyone would like to stipulate to? Certainly there were some rumors and scandals that have popped up in our fine town of Habershire in the last recent days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll pick back up with the epistolary phase. We'll hand wave essentially the morning of New Year's Day. Well, actually, we'll hand wave the part of the morning of New Year's Day during which everyone sort of got themselves together and departed. That can be covered in letters or conversations to whatever extent you all would like. Um, we'll get to the next novel chapter and see what happened live. But the first thing that will happen will be the epistolary phase, the writing of letters in the wake of the party. Um, Before we dive into that, I just want to briefly revisit the things we want to see in our game, things we don't want to see in our game. Does anyone have any additions to either? I am going to subtract from the things that we want to see in our game. I'm going to subtract the New Year's Ball and the Snowed In novel chapter, unless we would like another Snowed In novel chapter, in which case I can leave that one. Where do we feel we've gotten what we want from Snow?
I'm gonna add a snowball fight that gets a little too aggressive.
Okay, go for it. I think everything else I'm going to deduct the saucy novel reading since we have that well covered amongst our characters.
Last session we there was also a mention of a whiskey education between Phaedra, Irina, and Phoebe, and I want that.
Okay, whiskey education. So I've added a snowball fight that gets a little too aggressive. I'm adding whiskey education involving parenthetical at least, close parenthetical. Who was that involved? Was it Lydia, Irina, and Phoebe?
If it's booze,
It was Irina, Phoebe, and
Irina's in it.
Phaedra.
And Phaedra. Great.
We all know Irina is down for some booze education.
Indeed.
Mhm.
It is both business and pleasure. Um, anything else that we would like to add to the list, to our wish list at this point in time? Anything that we would like to add to our anti-wish list? Shall I stop asking questions, meta questions, and move us on to the epistolary phase?
Yes, please.
That works.
Delightful.
Let's do it.
All right. So we have reached the epistolary phase. Yay! This is the phase where I think I'll actually ask to start with. Do people want? Yeah, let's say in the on New Year's Day, the day or two, so January 1st or 2nd ish, maybe 3rd, like those first couple of days after the ball. At any point in there as you see fit, each major character gets to write 2 letters. They can be to another major character, they can be to a connection. So that's sort of our starting point. And I do have the 2 that Allie sent for Phaedra I'll read those for her, read those aloud. So we'll sort of catch as catch can. Who has a letter, go ahead and tell us what that letter is in. Everybody gets 2. The other thing you can do in this phase is that you can compel a letter. So if, say, someone really wants to get a letter from Edith, you can spend the resolve token and say, I would like my character to receive a letter from so-and-so. If it's a connection, you can just compel the letter, so you can spend the resolve token. I want to receive a letter from Edith. Here's what I would like the content of that letter to be. There can be some negotiation with the person who plays that connection to make sure that it's not like totally out of bounds for what that person would write. But basically, you can compel letters from connections. I would think I don't actually remember off the top of the rules. I don't remember if you're allowed to also compel, in the resolve token negotiation sense, a letter from another major character. Or
Yes,
is it
you
only
definitely
connections?
can.
Delightful.
I saw it done like
We've seen
8
it in the
million
actual
times.
place. Okay. So that would be the same resolve token negotiation. Hey, I would really like to get a letter from Phoebe. Liz, how do you feel about the letter that I would like to receive from Phoebe? So you write 2 letters, and then and you can compel basically as many as you got resolve tokens for, and negotiate successfully. So why don't I read Allie's letters? They're short before we forget they exist, in case they inspire anything, and then we will see who has letters they want to write. Unless somebody who can do Phaedra's accent wants to read these, because I am not going to do the accent.
But Hannah, why?
I can make an attempt at the accent.
Okay, I will pop them back into the chat for you. Because I'm no fun is the reason why.
Oh, Hannah.
That's not true.
Okay.
It's half
Don't be so
true.
down on yourself, Hannah. You're a great
Hey.
time.
Phaedra
Oh.
to Sebastian.
Thank you.
Please have sent to my room headache powder, 2 cups of very strong tea with cream and sugar, the largest portion of eggs, sausage, and beans you can muster. Yours in gratitude, P. And then from Phaedra to Phoebe. I've been called to Whitehall on official business. Let us get together when I return. I am leaving Lieutenant Sebastian behind. Do check in with him if you can to see how he is getting along. Yours, P.
Thank you so much.
I
If
feel
this was
like
a
I
game
was
where I
much
could
better
give
at
you, where
the
if I
accent
could
than
give you an extra resolve token, I would do that. But I don't think I can do that.
Probably not.
So yeah. So Phoebe has received a letter. Sebastian has received a letter. It is now open season for who wants to write 1 to 2 letters.
I'm thinking.
Sure. Yeah, I know it's too bad it was such a boring party and no one has anything to talk about.
Yeah. I'm gonna write to Caroline.
Delightful.
Dear Caroline, I had the most wonderful time at the party with you. I would like to ask, are you quite certain that you departed with the same number of dogs that you arrived with? Only there is a rumor that there's still a dog running around the Petrova estate, and I wish to be completely certain that the rumor is not true. I know that you would never leave any of your dogs behind. Uh, I, you know how much I love my Demeter. I must ask. I look forward to our next gathering to address animal welfare in West Hampshire. Yours, Lou.
Delightful.
I have a letter.
Excellent.
Dearest Ivan, if you could perhaps, maybe, just maybe, think about removing yourself from chastity for a moment. There is a large rat or a small dog running around my house. I think at this point it might be in the walls, and I don't know how to take care of this. Also, I am very hungover and very tired. And it's just signed, Rena.
Delightful. I'm realizing that I have to pick up Allie's connection, so that'll be fun. But Ivan's not a major character, so he cannot write back at this time. But he is on the trail of the large rat or small dog in the walls. It's fine.
I feel like they have like those, like the arena probably has like those secret, like the walls where you can like go into them to like look out the painting's eyes and stuff.
Oh, I love it.
Maybe not their eyes, that'd be too obvious, but she definitely, like, there's definitely like like stealth, and then she's like, there's a large rat that chewed a hole in my stocking.
Somebody remember that for the next rumor and scandal phase.
Easy.
Awesome. What else? What else do people have to talk about?
Lydia would like to write one to Lady Hilda.
Ooh.
Right. My dearest Lady Hilda, thank you so much for your company at the ball and your exceedingly clever advice. I always appreciate any wisdom you have to impart and endeavor to take it to heart. I do wish to assure you at this point that any rumors you may have heard about me since the ball are not true. I may be so bold as to waltz with others in public, but the other things are certainly not indicative of my character at this time. If you have any other concerns, I would be happy to discuss them with you at another time, but until then, rest assured that I am doing my best to behave as you think that I ought. Sincerely, Lydia.
Phoebe would like to write a letter to Anna. My dearest Anna, thank you so much for taking such good care of me after the events of New Year's Eve. I have learned a lot about the benefits, scratches out benefits, properties of vodka. I assure you it is nothing like champagne. Do not make the same mistakes I made. I should like to invite you to come to my estate so that I can properly make amends for any additional misbehaviors that I may have forgotten about or never remembered in the first place. Any time on either Wednesday or Thursday of this week would suit me well. I look forward to your visit. Your friend, Phoebe Hawkins. P.S. I have heard that seltzer water is a good remedy towards headaches that result from an overconsumption of liquor. If you wouldn't mind picking something up before coming by, I would be greatly appreciative. End letter.
Poor Phoebe.
Um, oh, Phoebe. Lou's gonna write to Phoebe now, so um dear Miss Hawkins, I would encourage you to take more care as to whose bedroom you sleep in. I would I know that there were certain extenuating circumstances. However, I must say it was quite a shock to have found you sleeping in my bed when I returned to my rooms after the ball. Uh, I hope that you are much recovered, and I do look forward to seeing you soon. Sincerely, Lou.
Well, that was delightful
Incredible.
explanation.
Yeah. Yeah, Phoebe receives this letter and immediately returns to bed for the rest of the day.
Oh no. Lydia would also like to write one to Phoebe. My dear Phoebe, it was a pleasure to see you the other night at the New Year's Ball, and I do hope that you enjoyed yourself and had a lovely evening. I also have heard that you are unwell. I am sorry to hear it. I do hope that you have quite recovered by now, and I look forward very much to seeing you soon, to catch up. Best regards, Lydia.
Phoebe will emerge from her bedroom long enough to write a letter to Lydia. My dearest Lydia, please accept my most sincere apologies for. And there's just like a long, like, there's just like a couple of ink blots that have like dripped onto the page, just like as her quill is just like hovering above the actual letter, like trying to think of like what to write. And she like scratches everything out and starts over. But yes, Lydia, I cannot begin to apologize adequately for the atrocities I'm sure I committed on New Year's Eve. I've received a letter from Lady Lou, and it has convinced me that I can never again show my face in society ever again. I would be very appreciative if you would come to my estate to assure me that it is only a figment of my imagination and I am making things worse in my head than they were in real life. But only tell me so if it is true. I shall await your response, and I do expect to be on my best behavior. I can assure you I will be emphatically rejecting any liquors for the rest of my days. I suggest you do the same.
Irina's...
With love.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just with love, Phoebe.
Amazing.
Poor Phoebe.
Did I hear an Irina letter in there?
Yeah, Irina's gonna write a letter to Phoebe.
Oh.
Miss Popular today.
Is it also going to tell her about how she's going to wish her face in public? We'll find out.
I'm trying to think how Irina would word this. Dearest Phoebe, I did not see you after the party. I went to check on your room, and it was empty. I also didn't see you at breakfast, but I don't think anyone was seeing much of each other after breakfast, to be honest. I do hope everything is all right. Please never hesitate to call on me if you need anything. Fondest regards, Irina Petrova. Yeah.
He does not respond, both because I'm out of letters, but also because I feel like that's a good dramatic moment too.
Right. So Phoebe and Irina have used both letters. Have Lou and Lydia used both letters or just one each?
I believe we have.
Yes.
Okay.
Lou wrote to Caroline and to
That's
Phoebe,
right.
and I wrote to Hilda and
That's
Phoebe.
right. Beautiful. Does anyone wish to compel a letter or request a letter?
Let's take a look at everybody.
If not, that is also entirely fine.
So I'm thinking. We haven't seen Aunt Darling yet.
Not yet.
Might I be able to compel a letter from her to Phoebe? Providing,
That's an interesting question.
yeah. I
In the
can't
epistolary
remember whether we
phase,
can.
players may spend the resolve token to write a letter. Oh, you can spend the resolve token to write a letter from a background character to their major character, a connection they control.
Okay, so I can't compel from another.
Technically not.
Okay.
I'm
Can I
not
say what
super
letter I
opposed
have in
to it, but
mind?
I'm not. I feel like unless someone can see a reason that it would be a bad idea, I'm not opposed to the proposal. I think the person who's compelling the letter would still have to pay the resolve token, which feels a little odd, but meh.
Can I say what letter I have in mind, and then Liz, you can decide if that's something you want to use the resolve token on?
Sure.
Okay. Something from Aunt Darling to Phoebe. Basically just kind of comforting her that we all make mistakes at these parties. We pick ourselves up again, and you had fun, and that's what matters.
Love
And
Aunt Darling.
I think the person who wants to see it would need to pay the token. So I think this one would be coming out of Rebecca's stash.
Okay, I am happy to pay that.
If that's something that Liz would like Phoebe to receive.
I mean, I'm totally game for it.
Sure. Rebecca, do you want to write that? I technically control Aunt Darling. We haven't seen her on stage, so if you have a frame for it, I'm happy to yield that letter to you, or else I can come up with it.
Okay. I can compose it since I did the outline.
Sure. Or if you would just like the outline to stand, that's also fine. Whatever you prefer.
All right. Dearest Phoebe, Happy New Year. I hope you had the most wonderful time at the Petrova party. I heard the most amazing things about the ice sculptures and the silk dancers and the chef from Paris. My goodness, it sounded like a blast. And I do want to say, even and and even if there was even if there was a bit too much vodka, we pick ourselves up again. We go on, and I am delighted that you had a good time at the party and that you were able to let down your hair a bit, so to speak. Wishing you the best on your courtship with Miss Petrova, and I wish you every happiness. If you were, and even if you were to enjoy vodka again, I just merely hope that you enjoy it. Yours, darling Cartwright.
That's lovely. you. Any other letters that we would like to see or receive? Or do we feel we're lettered out for the time and moment and would like to move on to the next novel chapter?
Let's move on. I have like something itching in the back of my brain, but it hasn't
Okay.
articulated itself.
Okay.
So
Delightful. We will have another epistolary phase at the end, and like, if you all want to write a letter or do whatever as part of your novel chapter, like, I'm not gonna tell you can't sit down and write a letter. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's your novel chapter. So in that spirit, we will move on to another novel chapter. I am thinking both sort of as a general shape of play and also because of the content of some of the letters that this is likely to be a visitation chapter where each player will frame a scene that they would like to see, involving their character visiting with or seeing or doing something with one or more others, unless somebody would unless we feel that we would like to skip immediately to, say, Lady Caroline's animal welfare section event. But it feels like after the chaos thus far, that a series of visitations to explore these events might be the way to go.
I
Visitation
definitely
sounds
want to
great to me.
do. Yeah, visitation sounds good. I definitely want to do Lydia visiting Phoebe because I think that she would.
Delightful.
That might
That
be
what's
fun.
what's in the back of your mind?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah.
have a minute to grab a snack and then I will be right back?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll go through and once Marina returns, and each person will decide what you would like to see. And then we'll see what that looks like.
I think that Irina would also visit Phoebe.
It's Phoebe hiding from society, just gonna take an endless string of guests.
Yeah, you can hide from society, or you can try to hide from society, but like society, that was going to turn into like a society can't hide from you sort of thing, but the metaphor fell apart very quickly.
I think I forgot to check off my resolve token. Can I spend a resolve token for Irina and Lydia to both wind up visiting Phoebe at the same time?
Yes.
Yes, please. I love it.
We'll check with Marina when she gets back. I'm trying to decide who would be more negatively affected by that. There's so many good options.
It's almost one of those you have to wait till after to see. I would give it to Phoebe because Phoebe has to deal with the awkward.
That's very compelling. Okay, we'll see. We'll
This
see how Lydia feels
weird
about it.
love triangle situation.
Quadrangle.
Quadrangle.
I'm also sort of briefly skimming the visitation chapter section of the guidance, the rules. Visitation chapters are structured chapters that allow for a series of short scenes. They provide an opportunity for intimate conversations and action outside the public eye. Visit is interpreted broadly. It could be a literal visit. It could also be an arrangement to meet somewhere, a conversation, any number of like smaller interactions. Players take turns initiating a single scene where their major character or a connection they control visits another character or characters. Facilitator could also initiate. The person initiating the scene may decide where and when it takes place and who will be in attendance. They may choose any major characters or connections they want to be present, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, and then as we just saw, I see Marina typing. Welcome back. Oh wow, that sounds amazing.
Oh, delightful.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
They
Now
were a
we
gift
all have
from
to drink
they
these.
were a gift from my friend's mom. And I was like, these are so appropriate for the RP I'm doing tonight.
I mean,
Good friend. So fun fact, we had a resolve token pitch while you were retrieving your amazingly thematic snacks.
Okay.
It sounds like Irina would also like to visit Phoebe. And
Yes.
Rebecca has pitched offering a resolve token. It sounds like the Phoebe as the person upon whom the awkward is visited, to have these occur. These visits accidentally coincide. So we wanted to get your temperature take on whether that
I love
sounds
it.
fun.
Let's do it.
Delightful.
The awkwardness will be amazing.
All right, so that resolve token exchange can occur.
Delightful.
Oh, Phoebe got a little hoard there. Do
Hey,
we
it's-
want?
It's not intentional.
No. It's just, I mean, this is what happens. They get handed around.
Yeah. There are games in which I have a hoard of resolve tokens, and somehow this has turned out to not be one of them. So
Mhm.
So it sounds so. Marina, you're the one who was framing this scene. Would you like Lydia to arrive first, or would you like Lydia and Irina to arrive simultaneously? Would you like Irina to like how would you like this visitation, accidental coinciding visitations to be framed? Did we use
I'm
everyone's monologue
fine.
tokens?
Yes, I think
Yes,
so.
we did. I think they
Okay.
all
Which
reset.
is too bad because all the monologues were great, but also I'm like I would love to hear more monologues later.
I was gonna say we are technically still within the same cycle of
Oh, we
play.
are. Oh, okay.
It is a new session. I was gonna say if people had not yet, if we had people who had not yet monologued, I wouldn't want to mess with it. But how do we feel about, since everyone has used their monologue tokens, how about resetting everyone to have a monologue token and monologue to know?
yes, please.
Okay, y'all can do that.
Done and done. So I am the only thing that I want to avoid with this is Lydia knowing that either Irina is coming or there. So it's fine if Irina gets there first. But if Lydia like saw her livery or something as she's arriving, she'd be like, "I'm gonna come back in a couple hours."
That's okay,
Okay.
because I'm assuming Lydia probably doesn't have like a full-on like livery. I'm forgetting the word. So Irina would just pull up and be like, "Okay." So she can arrive second.
Okay. So Lydia, you arrive at the Hawkins estate.
All right, yay. I give my calling card to the whoever is the receiving person is the butler or otherwise, and wait to be shown to see my friend.
Sure. Yeah, you were ushered into a parlor and offered tea, and the appropriate serving individual goes to Phoebe. Miss Hawkins, there's a visitor here for you, and extends the calling card, and then retreats gracefully to the door. Gaze politely averted.
Poor Phoebe.
Thank you, Jenkins. She like adjusts her face, like looks into a mirror and like pinches the apples of her cheeks a little bit just to like make it look like she hasn't been like just horizontal in her bed, like mourning the demise of her reputation for the past 3 days. And like straightens her dress a little bit and then heads into the parlor. It's like, well, Lydia, it's so good to see you.
So good to see you as well, Phoebe. How are you doing today?
It is every day is a bit different. I am much more with my senses today than the last time we saw each other.
Lydia gives her a sympathetic look. Yes, you seem much better. I'm so sorry that you weren't feeling well. And please do not trouble yourself about feeling embarrassed. As you know, exciting things can happen, and they will die down in a few days. And I am sure that it will all be forgotten in a short time. So please do not trouble yourself over much.
I certainly do hope so. I am only. I must admit, I'm absolutely mortified for putting out Lady Lou in the way that I so unintentionally did. I should like to make it up to her, but I'm not sure if she would appreciate seeing my face. So you're very close with them. do you have any insight into what? Do they like pastries?
They do very much like pastries. They also really enjoy books, and proper attention paid to their flowers and their dogs. So I believe just calling on them with any of those things will set things to right. I don't think that Lou was particularly, shall I say, perturbed for very long about it. We were both a little concerned that you weren't feeling well, but it didn't cause that much of an inconvenience, and I don't think it is so severe that they wouldn't want to speak to you again. That is certainly the opposite of what I think that Lou would think at this juncture.
Phoebe's face like shows a little bit of relief on it. It's like, it's very good to hear. They're quite influential, and I should hate to be on, especially just returning to town. The last thing I want is to offend someone who has their finger on the pulse of society in town.
I think it will be all right, certainly.
Very good, very good. I see you've got tea. Would you care for any biscuits or sandwiches or tea cakes or anything like that?
That would be lovely. Whatever may be easy and quick to procure. I wouldn't want to trouble anybody, but I know that your staff prepares the most wonderful snacks. So I'm sure anything that they have will be delightful.
Excellent. She turns to the maid who's kind of like standing in the corner. She's like, a tray of cucumber sandwiches, please.
I believe there are some. We have been experimenting with macarons. They were the hit at the New Year's Eve ball. If you would like some, we will bring some of those.
Excellent.
That sounds wonderful.
Those sound lovely. Thank you, Cordelia.
Cordelia departs and returns with cucumber sandwiches and macarons. Now I want a cucumber sandwich.
Same. They're really good.
Yeah, seriously. Lydia helps herself to a moderate portion of each and settles in and waits for Phoebe to also feel a little bit more at ease or seem a little bit more at ease, and then says, did you have a good time otherwise at the ball? I worry. Yeah, I was just a little concerned that the drink had left you feeling over ill, and I would hate to think that your evening had been ruined in any way by anything.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I do recall enjoying myself up at least until I stopped remembering things. But yes, it was a magnificent party. Arena really does not do anything by halves. I should tell you that much.
No, certainly not. Lydia's remembering the incident with the ceiling acrobats and the suggestive sculptures.
Yep. I know that she is unexpected for what we typically would see here at home, but I do. She is wonderful. She's very, very dear to me, and she's just looking to make a mark for herself in the kingdom.
Lydia is feeling very relieved that Phoebe doesn't seem to hold any hard feelings toward her, or isn't feeling any awkwardness about her having previously been seeing Irina, and that Phoebe seems happy, so she's very relieved about that. Yes, she certainly knows how to throw a party, and honestly, I feel as though this neighborhood could use a little bit more excitement. I must say, I love everyone, and I'm quite fond of our society, but I do so think that a little excitement would make certain people relax a little more. I'm mostly thinking of my godmother. She had quite a a few things to say about my behavior. But
Ooh.
she always does, as you know.
Oh yes, yes. I recall. I believe we were you and me and Phaedra. We were all in the gardens, 5 years ago or so, and I remember we were playing croquet, I believe, and she came up and she said something along the lines of proper women of society should not be hitting things with mallets.
You're
So
right. She did say that.
I appreciate her attention to decorum and to looking out for everyone's best interests. But I do also think that croquet's fun. There's no real harm in it. It's perfectly modest. No one is running around in trousers.
I quite agree with you. And I rather think that even though something may be new, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's unbecoming. I certainly don't see the harm in croquet or any number of other things that are more in style now than they used to be, and have met with some resistance.
Oh yes, indeed. Was she complaining about your waltzing?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Thinks it's a little overfamiliar. But it's a nice dance, so.
It is, and it is only as social as the crowd that you're with. The only difference between that and the line dances is that you're really just doing the same sort of social dancing, just with one person in a group. You're not changing partners every 10 seconds, and it lends itself much more nicely to actual conversation. Surely she's not
That is
opposed to
exactly what I
conversation.
was saying. Yes, we were discussing that very thing. I quite agree with you.
No.
But try convincing her. I think only time and more common occurrences will win the day on that one.
Indeed.
But I do appreciate her concern. She's been very good to me.
No, she is a woman of good character. If a bit stuffy, but it comes from a good place. It comes from a place of caring.
Absolutely. That is I would certainly agree with that. So tell me more about Paris. I haven't heard all of your adventures, and I would love to hear more about what your favorite parts were, what finishing school was like, the people you met.
Yes. And I would actually like to play a resolve token for this to be the point where a servant comes in and announces Irina's arrival.
Irina, does that work for you?
Oh yeah.
Delightful. Exchange complete, and Jenkins arrives with a small platter, a second flavor of macarons. These are a bit lopsided. It looks like whoever is making them did have maybe some conversations with Irina's French chef, but doesn't quite have the technique down yet. And nestled among the lopsided orange and lemon macarons is a small envelope containing Irina's calling card.
He pulls it out. And oh dear. I hope it isn't too awkward for Irina to be arriving at this
Irina?
moment.
Is that her card?
It is.
No, that is perfectly fine. Yes, that would be not awkward at all, she said, feeling very awkward about it.
Delightful. Phoebe notices none of it. Turns to Jenkins. Yes, Jenkins, please show her in.
And Jenkins, small bow, returns to the second parlor where Irina has been fetched, has been waiting. And while Jenkins is gone, it looks like there's a monologue token. Rebecca, who is that monologue token intended for?
I would like Lydia to monologue, please.
Delightful.
Oh no. Okay. All right.
Not awkward at all.
Not awkward at all. Why has Irina chosen now to call upon? I mean, I suppose they are courting, and it's a completely reasonable thing for two people who are courting to call on each other. But why did it have to be now? I don't want her to get the wrong idea, and I certainly don't know how she would feel about me coming to visit Phoebe, but I suppose I am here, and I'll just have to pretend that it doesn't bother me, and make the best of it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
And Irina Jenkins ushers you from one parlor to another parlor.
I think that. So, would Jenkins have warned her that there are multiple people in the room, or would she just assume that it's just Phoebe?
I am not getting the sense that Jenkins. I think Jenkins is a letter of the law type, is the vibe that I'm getting. So you are here to see Phoebe. Phoebe has accepted your presence. I think Jenkins considers Lydia's presence incidental to the situation,
Great, that's
and
what I
so
needed
has
to
not
know.
has not shared
Maybe
that
Jenkins
Phoebe is
has
not alone.
joined the staff after Lydia and Phoebe broke up,
Mm,
and
it seems
doesn't
Oh,
likely.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does- yeah.
He
Jenkins
doesn't
is
pay
not aware of
attention
the
to
nuance.
he doesn't pay attention to society. It doesn't know about any broken engagements.
He doesn't gossip with the rest of the servants.
He's trying very hard to be professional.
I feel
He's
like he
he's
thinks he's above it, like some fancy butler. Like no,
Mhm.
gossip
I
is
think
for
this is
scullery maids.
Yeah,
correct.
exactly.
So nope, you have not been warned.
Okay, so Irina just blusters in, like dramatically. Darling, I know that you are taken to your bed and ill, but there is a creature in my house, and it is eating my clothes, and I just need a break. Just hear
Oh.
skittering in my... Oh. Hello.
Irina, you know Lydia.
I'm familiar.
Yes.
Good morning, Irina. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Good morning to you as well. Sorry.
No, not at all. Please, sit down. And she waves at Cordelia, for another round of, tea and macarons.
Cordelia doesn't is too busy. Cordelia is not above this, and is too busy is a little shocked and a little the expression is clearly this is gonna be I'm gonna tell everybody I'm gonna be so jealous I got to see this. So there's it's not a long delay, but there is a brief delay, and then Cordelia bobs her head and scurries out.
I just a creature?
I do not know. It is either a very large rat or a very tiny dog, but either way I hear it scurrying in my walls, and I do not like it.
Oh, that's very upsetting. When did you notice it?
This morning. Everything was very, very loud this morning.
Oh. Oh dear. Well, I could give you the number of the local exterminator.
I have Ivan on it, and she's just gonna take a seat.
If it were a dog, it would be most unfortunate for the exterminator to accidentally
That's right.
harm it in any way. I'm sure Ivan will locate it
There was the lady
without trouble.
Yeah, there was the lady with the dogs, and you know what? I am not looking to cause trouble with a very old lady with a lot of dogs. That is the recipe for disaster.
Oh, I should say so. Yes, Miss Caroline is very influential. She's a very well-known figure for her fundraising balls.
I believe Lady Caroline only brought one dog and left with the same dog. I'm sure it's not one of hers.
Oh, I should. She knows the location of every single one of those creatures at all times. I should assume it's not. There were others who brought dogs. I know Lady Pembroke brought hers, but Demeter's quite large. I should find it difficult to believe that Demeter would get lost.
No, Demeter.
Oh yes, Demeter is much too large.
No.
Too large to be stuck in the walls.
Lady Caroline. That makes it even better.
She has old lady vibes.
Some people, positively aged. Yeah, some people just have old person vibes.
Yep.
I
Yep.
love it. This is also Cordelia. Now returns with I forget what she was sent out. She has probably also forgotten what she was sent out. But she has returned with like a additional tea and like more tea sandwiches and snacks and like finger foods that she is hoping are what you wanted. And she sets them down at the table and like takes up her position along the wall again.
Phoebe just
Supervisor.
sort of like hand waves as like this is fine. Adrian, would you care for some tea or tea sandwiches or there's lady fingers, a few biscuits.
Of course. And she's gonna pick up one of the macaroons and goes, "Oh, that's very good. If they would like to learn, I'd be happy to send my chef over
I should love that.
and
I
arrange a
do
lesson."
believe that. Yes, we've been trying to replicate. From my memory, been trying to replicate from the New Year's Eve ball a few nights ago. Results have been mixed. Some have been very good. Others have been a valiant effort.
We shall arrange a private lesson then.
Excellent.
Lydia takes a delicate sip of her tea, being like, I should probably not be here.
Phoebe turns to Lydia. Lydia, my dear friend, what sort of books does Lady Pembroke enjoy?
Rebecca, is Lou's penchant for gothic romances known throughout the neighborhood? I know Lydia's is, but I'm not sure how transparent Lou is with their preferences.
I mean, I think Lou is interesting because on the one hand, they're pretty transparent about preferences, but on the other hand, they're very much mindful of the reputation that needs to be kept up as a member of the nobility. And I suspect that a liking for gothic romances falls outside of those bonds, but those
Okay.
bounds.
Okay.
Um,
So then a different genre that Lou also likes is probably preferable to mention at this juncture.
yeah, probably something like probably histories.
All right.
Let's go with that.
Sounds great. I believe Lou is very fond of historical books. So anything that any newer histories that may have just been published that she might not have acquired yet. Anything maybe perhaps from France if you have any connections there. But anything with a historical bent would be wonderful.
Excellent. I have some ideas. Thank you ever so much. Your counsel has been much appreciated and more valuable than you could possibly understand.
It's no trouble at all, Phoebe, I assure you. I'm quite happy to assist with whatever you might need. And I'm so glad you've come back to town. The neighborhood has certainly missed you in the past 4 years.
Oh, there's something familiar about it that I've missed as well. Certainly, I was a bit too familiar with it a few nights ago, but I should certainly endeavor to put opinions to rights over the next few days, I should think.
I truly think it will not take very much trouble. News travels fast in the neighborhood, and I'm sure everyone will have forgotten all about it in a few days' time.
Certainly do hope so.
There's always a bigger scandal happening.
Lydia takes another sip of tea to
Yeah.
cover the fact that she knows some of those scandals are about her, and she's pretending that they don't exist. But thank you so much for hosting the New Year's Ball again, Irina. I apologize that I wasn't able to thank you properly on the evening, but it was a delightful time and certainly a worthy way to begin the new year.
Thank you. I was able to move some reservations around so we could strengthen that party. I had some last-minute cancellations.
Oh, I see. That's unfortunate, but I did very much enjoy the fire dances and the fireworks. That turned out very well. And the gardens looked lovely. The ice sculptures were wonderful.
And Lady Lulu did a lovely job with the gardens. I was hoping more people would see them, but...
Yes, I was disappointed that the snow came so quickly. But for those who arrived early, it was quite a treat.
And she just sips her tea.
Phoebe is also just like sitting there sipping her tea,
Delightful.
just like blasé expression.
I'm gonna play a monologue token on Phoebe.
Delightful. Just in this specific moment.
Yeah. As Irina like is doing some stuff.
Delightful. Oh, this is odd. This is one would think Irina was threatened by in a false courtship. No, one can't be threatened in a false courtship. That's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Unless she still is... I wonder if she still has feelings for Lydia. And is attempting to make herself a bit more impressive for her sake. This is interesting. So I did also see her dancing rather gallantly with Phaedra. Oh, my goodness, this has become very complicated all of a sudden. Well, I suppose it's nothing. I don't think there's anything to come of it. Just focus on reconciling the friendship. I do wish Phaedra wasn't out of town. I should miss her so much. I wish I could invite her to come to tea with us today as well, but oh, such is life. I shall have to call upon her the next opportunity I get. That's it.
Perfect.
Delightful.
Right, ballpark, wrong sport.
At this point, it seems like no one is saying anything, and Lydia figures that she's been there for at least 20 minutes now, and she finishes her plate of petit fours and then says, I will leave the both of you to it. Phoebe, it is so delightful to see you looking much better. Please call on me when you can. It would be lovely to catch up. Irina, also lovely to see you as always. I will see you both another time.
Lovely to
Thank
see
you very
you
much for
too,
the treats.
and I apologize I did not congratulate you.
I beg your pardon?
Phoebe chokes a little bit on her tea.
Sorry, maybe I misunderstood.
Misunderstood what?
You are not aware.
I don't. She's very much aware she's getting all red in the face, but she's like, trying to play it off. No, I'm sorry. I don't believe I have any new news in the past few days. So I'm not sure to what you are alluding.
Can I play a resolve token to have a scandal sheet with the rumors that are spreading on it?
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh no, like a Lady Whistledown letter.
Yes, exactly. exactly that.
How do you feel
God.
about
Yes.
how do you, yeah?
Yeah, and I'll pay it. I will
Delightful.
pay. It probably will go straight to Lydia.
Does that work for you, Lydia?
Yes, that's great.
Delightful.
Um,
Okay.
I had brought this for Phoebe because I know she had probably not seen it yet, and she's just gonna produce the scandal paper and hand it over.
So this would have all of the rumors on it, really.
Really, all of the rumors.
In more flowery language, obviously.
Yeah.
But yes, if you hadn't heard these already, you are hearing them now, or reading them.
Voiced by Julie Andrews.
Oh my gosh.
Julie Andrews, always a treat. All right, Lydia reads it. Continues to be red in the face. Doesn't really know what to say. Let me pull up the rumor sheet. Hang on.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I do hope that if Lieutenant Brambleshire truly is about to receive a title, I wish him well with all my heart. None of the rest of these are based in any actual fact, as far as I'm aware.
Phoebe takes the sheet, like, to get a look at it.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've seen the ghost.
Don't be ridiculous. There's no ghost here.
I mean, for the sake of the dramatic, that is quite too bad, but still not really sure what to say, kind of flustered, just like...
Irina, it's very unkind of you to make such accusations of one of my oldest and dearest friends.
I apologize.
Lydia then looks Irina dead in the face and says, I must say, Irina, for this one in particular that suggests that I am with child, for that to be true, I would have had to have been seeing someone else while I was still engaged to you, and whatever else you may think of me, I am not capable of that. And then she sets down the paper and walks out of the room.
Jenkins is at the opens the door and ushers you out. Cordelia is still against the wall and sort of is eyeing the paper, but is not quite bold enough to grab it with both of you still in the room.
She'll sneak it out of there later.
Yep. Sure will.
Actually, can I play a resolve token for that to happen?
Sure. I mean,
Okay.
I will actually. Who is that? I can't say sure. Cordelia is down for it. Irene and Phoebe would be the people who would be more negatively affected. Phoebe, I think your servant making off with that, I think, is probably the.
I mean,
Although you do have a
Phoebe's not really mentioned in any of the rumors as
Yeah.
like, so like this becoming like even wider spread public knowledge. Like, there's no impact on her. Like, it's not great that her servant is the source, but I mean, I'm happy for it to just happen.
Should we just
happen? Yeah.
Yeah, just happen,
Yeah.
or we could put it in a pool and we could just borrow from the resolve token pool.
I mean, if everybody's fine with it just happening, like,
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
immediate negative effect, then yeah, dude, no need to pay the resolve token. Cordelia will just grab it if nobody grabs it later.
You could give it back to Hannah so that they can make something else happen later.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to take
Okay.
the token.
Done.
All right, hooray!
After Lydia departs, Phoebe kind of looks at Irina and she's like, "Why would you make such accusations of one of my good friends?"
Because if they were true, she would have had to been with someone else while she was with me. Which is fine. I don't care. It was an arrangement. But I do not like that these rumors are circulating publicly. also, considering the fact that she probably did leave me for someone more powerful or rich, it does hurt, you know. Even if we had no feelings for each other, it did hurt.
Phoebe's face kind of like it looks a little conflicted for a moment, and then it kind of goes like not quite pitying, but like sympathetic, and it's just sort of like, if you still care for her, that's
No. Not at all. Quite the opposite. I'm still pretty mad, as you can tell.
I can.
It's not from a feeling of... It's not the feeling of a lover being spurned, it's a feeling of embarrassment of being made a fool of in front of the entire society. One that I am here to make myself a part of.
No, that's understandable. Well, I can certainly make an effort to be, once I've made some amends with Lady Pembroke, I can make an effort to be seen more in public with you, if that would help to raise your profile.
I appreciate you. I really do. And thank you for trying to help, and I am sorry I lost my temper at your friend.
Apology accepted. Just, please, I know it's not exactly comfortable, but she is a dear friend of mine, and she's important to me.
I understand, and my pride will heal with time, but it's still a little bit of a sore spot. I did invite her to the party, at your recommendation.
No, I do appreciate that very much. That was very, very generous of you. She did seem to have a lovely evening, as apparently did I. I should never accept vodka or really any beverage from you in the future. Please don't take offense at that. I just am not certain that my reputation can take another display.
Perhaps for private parties, then.
Well, we'll see. I did not feel amazing waking up the next morning either.
Fair. I forget that you're English people. Not quite as used to it.
Oh, no. Goodness, no. I should bear in mind to stick to wine and champagne, perhaps brandy, if I've been monitoring my intake. But I think I am glad to have had the experience and am glad to have it behind me.
Well, perhaps I'll have to buy you a vineyard.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Cordelia steps forward brightly and asks if you need more tea, and picks up the empty teapot with one hand and the scandal sheet with the other, and then departs the room to refill the scandal pot, the teapot, before quite waiting
The
for
scandal pot.
the scandal pot.
The scandal pot.
I see what you're doing there, Cordelia.
Just clearing the table, Mom.
Yeah. I am happy with the scene there. Was there anything that you wanted?
No, that's felt like a really good spot.
Okay.
Oh, anything else we need to see, or that Lydia needs to do on her way out?
I don't think so. I think she would immediately head for whatever conveyance that she took to go see Phoebe in the first place. Like, she doesn't have a livery, but
It's not a big
maybe
town.
maybe she walked,
Yeah.
or maybe she has a horse. She just
made it-
kind of books
she
it
made
out of there.
work.
Yeah.
Okay. Delightful. Who else would like to frame a scene then?
Shall we have Phoebe's visit to Lou?
Yes, I support this.
That sounds lovely.
Excellent. So Phoebe has picked up a recently published history of the French Revolution. Specifically going into the excesses at Versailles. It's beautifully illustrated. There are exceptional like inserts that show sketches of like the Hall of Mirrors and like the big display rooms from the palace and all that kind of stuff. And she has it in her hands, and she approaches the estate of Lady Pembroke and presents her card, her calling card to the footman or the butler or whoever it is that's at the door.
Mm-hmm. Accepts it and takes it to Lou, and all I can think is Jenkins. This is probably Jeeves. Maybe Jenkins' older brother, who was in with the Pembroke estate, and Jenkins couldn't get a job there, but Jeeves does, and yeah, delivers the calling card.
Yeah. And Lou enters. Phoebe, Miss Hawkins. It's a
Hi.
pleasure to see you here today.
And you as well. Phoebe very quickly stands at Lady Pembroke's entrance. I was in town, and I had heard that you enjoyed histories, and so I picked this up and wished to bring it over. And presents the book.
Lou opens the book, flips open, coincidentally, to a page showing the gardens at Versailles. Oh, this is excellent. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I shall quite enjoy this. I, in fact, do already. Perhaps I can draw some inspiration from my own gardens, though not so much inspiration as to fall excesses to those that condemned the French.
Oh well, the French have always done their things in their own particular way. I did want to offer this as a token of apology. I cannot express enough how deeply sorry I am for my behavior New Year's Eve, and I was not at my best, and I am sorry for the for putting you out and for the inconvenience that you had as a result.
Apology accepted. We all have times when we are not our best. So I appreciate your apology. I accept it. And should you would you wish to stay? I was about to go for a walk around the grounds. Would that suit you?
Oh, I should love that. Yes, I do think I could benefit well from a bit of fresh air.
Wonderful. I don't envision going far distances, but I will. I believe the fresh air is quite invigorating this time of year.
Oh, I certainly agree. Especially with the snow, it's very lovely. Something very picturesque about the clear blue sky and the pristine sparkle of the snow.
Oh yes, perhaps I shall commission a painting.
Oh, that would be lovely. Where would you put it? In the Great Hall?
Yes, there is a wonderful location for it. Horatio recently requested that all of the portraiture of him be taken down, and so there are some unsightly gaps there.
Delightful. I should think landscapes are. There's something quite timeless about landscapes. There's portraiture is
You know, it's one thing to have commemoration of, you know, those who came before, but at the same time, landscapes truly speak to the beauty of nature, and honestly, who can reproach that?
They cannot. None can reproach the beauty of nature, and indeed, even the landscapes speak quite a deal to the ways that we, as the Pembrokes and others, have shaped and created the landscape the way it is. A garden does reveal quite a bit about the character of its creator.
Very well said indeed. Your work at the at Miss Petrova's estate was quite exemplary. I am glad that I was able to admire it before the weather took a turn.
Thank you greatly. I expect that Miss Petrova will enjoy it even more when the spring comes and the flowers begin to bloom.
That should be
I
quite
was
lovely.
pleased to be able to provide that for her as she settles in West Hampshire. In the town.
Yes, she has done very well so far, I think, in attempting to ingratiate herself with society here. Although there are some cultural differences that may or may not have been noticed. I am doing my best to guide her in understanding the intricacies of society here in town.
She has you to be her guide and is quite fortunate. If I may inquire, I know your courtship is quite new and you may not have spoken of this of yet, but are either of you considering marriage?
Oh, she kind of is a little flustered at the suggestion. It's a bit early still. To some extent, we are still learning the nuances of what it is to be courting one another, and I find it prudent to understand to fully understand one part of the cycle first. So once we've sort of settled into the courtship itself, then perhaps we would discuss a union. But it's still fairly new for that to have come up.
Of course, of course. Well, if you are in need of any advice, I did have a few conversations with Miss Petrova while she was engaged to Lydia, and I believe I have some idea of I believe she has some idea of I have some idea of the things that she enjoys.
Can I play a resolve token?
What would you like to play resolve token to do?
I would like to. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's like, oh my gosh. What if Lou knows that Irina is in love with someone?
How do we feel about that, Lou?
I would be interested in knowing that. I'm trying to think out who would be.
But that it's complicated, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So she knows that Irina loves someone, but it's complicated. I guess that's the whole sentence.
So like a non-specific someone, like who doesn't know.
Maybe not who, or maybe she does. I don't know. I'm willing to let that happen.
Okay, I'm interested in knowing knowing that Irina loves someone, but it's complicated. And here I see maybe something Edith overheard made its way to Lou through the telephone chain. Yeah.
Delightful.
I don't know who I'd pay that to, but
I think to Lou, since it would be
yeah.
sort of changing.
The,
I mean, it's kind of
the
giving
relationship
new
between the
information
two.
as well
Yeah.
as, but yeah, it is sort
I
of
will
asking for an
pay.
adjustment and lose.
I will pay Lou 1 resolve token.
I will accept.
So you know that Irina is in love with someone, and it's complicated.
Yeah.
You may draw what further conclusions you like, if any.
All right.
Amazing.
Okay, where did we leave off? Lou was offering to share what she knows of what Irina likes. Um, as I believe you know quite well, doing the things that someone likes is the best way to their heart.
Uh, those are very wise words indeed. Certainly, I should be delighted to hear your thoughts.
Oh yes. Well, she is someone who is interested, quite interested in other cultures. Having come up here all the way from Russia, having and that she is courting you, and that you spent so much time in France. So I think if you were to, I believe if you were to share with her information about some of the things that you've learned in French culture, that could be quite enjoyable to her.
I shall keep that in mind. Although we did meet in Paris. I'm not entirely certain how long she was there before we met, but I shall keep your wisdom in mind for our next discussion. I do wonder if perhaps she doesn't have her eyes on someone else. I did see her dancing with Phaedra at the New Year's ball, and she seemed quite comfortable.
Phaedra, really?
Yes. It's I might have been seeing things. But it was a bit of a surprise.
It doesn't. At first thought, it seems as though they would not be suited to one another. I see resolve token for Lou to have seen the gossip letter.
I was
Yes,
just about to
please.
throw the emoji in. I mean, all of the things on the rumor and scandal sheet are rumors that are circulating. So you certainly could have heard any of those. You don't really need unless you would like the scandal sheet specifically, which is totally fine. You could have heard, you would certainly have heard anything that is on that rumor and scandal sheet as around in town.
Okay.
If you would like to. So I don't think you need to pay a resolve token necessarily, although if you would like to activate one of the spread rumors to function as a resolve token for another end, that is an option. But if the goal is just for Lou to be aware of Phaedra quoting Lydia, then that one hasn't been spread yet, so she can certainly have heard that. Heard that gossip. What credence you give it is up to you.
It was the one they were just discussing was Phaedra and Irina,
Yeah.
you think?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I don't need a resolve token for that because it seems like Lou has an opinion on the suitability of that match already.
He does.
Yeah, I didn't have any particular objective in Lou seeing the letter. I just think the letter is hilarious.
All right, so sounds good. And dropping back in, certainly I've heard that Phaedra's is interested in Irina, but Irina is not courting Phaedra. She's courting you.
No, I'm. Yes, that is accurate. But I apologize. I overstepped. I should not have brought it up. Please do forgive me again.
Oh, there's nothing to forgive.
Who would we like to see a monologue token from? Oh, from Lou.
All right. This seems rather odd. That I was not expecting Phoebe to be so reticent as to her courtship with Irina. Certainly relationships take time, not all courtships lead to marriage. But I should think that she should would better understand her own position here and have more of an understanding that that I would have expected there to be more security in the relationship between Irina and Phoebe. I won't speak of it anymore. It's clearly distressing her, but it just all seems quite strange and unconventional to me. Perhaps I can find out more at another time, but I know I can see continuing to press would have little benefit to Phoebe. Well, Lou continues post-monologue. There's nothing to apologize for. I merely wish the best for you.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. Would it be all right if I if I may be so bold? You seem to have a wisdom beyond your years, and I think I should benefit from spending more time in your presence. Would it be all right if I called upon you again sometime, just to understand what it is that you've learned from life in general? You seem so content, and I should like to understand that a bit better for myself.
Please do. I should be happy to discuss with you further.
Excellent, thank you. Just let me know when would be an appropriate time to call upon you.
I shall. In the meantime, it looks as though Demeter would appreciate if you were to pet her.
Oh, I should be happy to oblige that. And Phoebe gives Demeter very obliging scritches behind her ears.
Demeter leans into them.
Does Lady Caroline live on the same estate, or does she live elsewhere?
I had envisioned elsewhere. But I know that she is Liz's now, so.
And that is also my vibe.
Delightful, thank you.
With that many dogs that she has, like the menagerie, like she cannot possibly share an estate with another human being who has their own staff. Like that is just
extremely reasonable.
Unacceptable.
Her pets are her family.
Yes, exactly.
Delightful. Demeter gets her scritches.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I am happy with the scene there. Was there anything else that you wanted, Rebecca?
I'm happy too.
Delightful. So I think, is it just Phoebe who has yet to frame a scene?
Oh shoot.
Had sort of Lydia and Irina's in conjunction.
Yeah. That sure did happen. The irony is that it's like, oh, we're gonna the framing is like your major character with someone else.
Yeah,
She's been
and I was
everything.
gonna say if your major character has already interacted with everyone that she needs to interact with in this particular circumstance, that is totally fine.
I would love to have Phoebe pay a call to Anna.
I am extremely
Delightful.
here for that. Anna is waiting to hear all the gossip.
And then I think I will frame one after that, where just where Edith visits with Lydia for a bit. So yeah, let's see the Anna visit.
So is Anna going to her, or is Phoebe visiting Anna?
After the incident with Irina and Lydia both at Phoebe's estate at the same time, Phoebe is absolutely the one visiting.
Sounds
we
great.
are not doing that again.
Okay, so
Can
Anna is
I-
probably staying where? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Hannah.
I would like to offer a resolve token for Sebastian, who was not specifically told to come visit you, but you were told to come visit him. And I would like to believe that he was also instructed to come to check on you, vice versa. I don't know what Phaedra's up to, but Phaedra seems to be up to something. I would like Sebastian to arrive during this
Sure.
visit to Anna.
Okay.
I don't know why Sebastian would be visiting Anna. So I don't know, Heather, if you want to make that
Anna-
up, or if you.
If Anna has a house in town,
Yeah.
and assuming
Maybe
that
she and Phoebe go for a stroll.
that would work.
Delightful, if that works for people.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Perfect.
I don't know who that token goes to. Probably Phoebe's the only major character involved.
Yeah.
Or it could go to Sebastian. Either way,
I'll take it.
delightful.
My hoard grows.
The end is just gonna be written by you with resolve tokens.
Everybody better be nice to Phoebe.
Phoebe
That's
has
fine.
a lot of invested interest in everything working out.
I don't know
she's
how
now
this
embroiled in
happened.
All of this.
It escalated so quickly.
I love it. I'm so here for it. Yay.
All right. So are we? Do you want to say that we're like already on the stroll?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, Anna, I must thank you again for paying mind over me on New Year's Eve. I know that I wrote, and I feel as though I really must continue to insist that you are far too good to me.
Oh, not at all, my friend. No apologies are necessary. It is my sincere pleasure to see you enjoying yourself, and I feel no ill will whatsoever. I only apologize that you had to come out here. I meant to visit you, as you requested in your letter. Is everything all right?
Everything's fine. It's just that everyone has sort of decided to come visit me, and I should very much like to prevent a deluge of individuals arriving unannounced. Well, not completely unannounced, but unexpected at my door. I absolutely would love to see you, but I would very much love to not see anyone else.
Yes, you mentioned that there was something very dramatic happening in the neighborhood at the ball, and you had a little too much of the strawberry vodka at that time, so I didn't really understand what it was all about, but I'm happy to listen now if you would like to talk about it, or we can talk about something else, like the fresh English air.
To be honest, I'm not entirely certain what exactly it was that I was going to tell you about. There were a lot of things going on, and I've sort of gotten them all jumbled up in my head together. Was it involving Irina, Lydia, or Phaedra? Or a
I believe
combination?
all of those names were mentioned,
Oh no.
but I do not know. I have met Miss Petrova, but I have not made the acquaintance of the others. But I do remember those names were mentioned.
Can I play a resolve token? I'd like to play a resolve token for Anna to know that Irina and Phoebe are fake dating.
Oh yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, totally
let's see.
down.
Yeah.
I feel like that one goes to Irina, who feels like she has the most to lose
Yeah.
if someone knows that the courtship is
I will
perhaps not
take it,
supposed to be
yeah.
real. Delightful,
Hey, excellent.
as you were.
Is there something else going on with Irina besides the fact that you are having a fake courtship right now?
Well, she's been acting very strangely, and I can't decide if it's because she has feelings. She's got feelings for someone. I just can't figure out if it's for Phaedra or if it's still for Lydia. She and Miss Fitzgerald were previously engaged, and so there's something going on with her, and I can't quite put a finger on. She denies it on both ends, which is only right and proper, and I'm not going to argue with her on that, but something is odd, and I should like to figure out and get to the bottom of it, but I just can't determine the best way of going about it.
How exactly are you certain that she has feelings for someone who is not you?
Oh, it has to be one of the two of them. We entered into this with full knowledge of, we are doing this for appearances, at least to get through the season and to get Irina's name established in town, and then once that's done, then we'll figure something out, but it's merely a temporary arrangement. And you know that.
I mean, I do. That doesn't mean it has to always be temporary.
What do you mean?
Do you wish it to only be temporary? You seemed very concerned that she is not as invested in this relationship as you are.
Is this
I
when
did?
Sebastian shows up? It doesn't have to be, but it can.
This is a perfect opportunity for Sebastian to show up.
Alright, I need to take a big sip of water. I'm out of water.
Oh no.
I'm assuming this whole time is just sort of Phoebe's pause, like trying to process what's happening reaction.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
Yeah.
there's another option.
Wait, what?
Like, I don't remember this. I don't, to be fair, I don't remember a lot of things.
Yeah,
This does
so
not you.
as things go quiet, so the lieutenant will approach. And he'll doff his hat and be really proper and give them a little bow.
Oh, hello! I think I saw you at the ball. You was the one with the fireworks.
I was, yes. I'm happy to see I'm not the only one taking in the winter air.
Oh yes. It's a fine day for a stroll. Yes. May I congratulate on how well the fireworks went off? It was a spectacular display. Perfect way to end the night.
Yes,
Masterfully done.
and no one lost a hand.
Yes, that is also good. Phoebe, did you not do you remember the fireworks?
I do remember the fireworks. They were very loud, and very brightly coloured. Well done.
I mean, I didn't buy them, but the guy who was going to shoot them off looked a little too intoxicated to function.
Oh. Very good of you to step in then.
Would have been a pity to burn the house down.
Oh,
Yes, quite
indeed.
true. Especially considering the fact that we were snowed in. On top of not being able to leave, then the house burns down. What a terrible way to start the year.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Lieutenant, how is, I do apologize if I'm being perhaps a bit bold in asking. How is the captain these days?
I haven't seen her in a day or two. She got called to Whitehall.
Indeed. I should like to arrange a meeting when she returns. Do you know how long it will be?
Probably a few days more at most. I don't know.
All right. Please tell her to call upon me once once she's returned to town. Also, I saw that you met my friend Miss Fitzgerald.
Yes. She's quite a lovely lady.
She is.
Anna at this point is just like smirking and not really trying to hide it.
And I do hope that the town says such awful things about her, but you really mustn't pay any mind to them. So they just don't want her to be successful.
Begging your pardon, ma'am. You know, the only people who gossip more than the town are soldiers. I'm fairly used to ignoring such rumors.
Oh, I've learned something new today. How long have you been in the company, Lieutenant?
Oh, probably about 3 years now. No,
Oh goodness.
3 years as an officer. I was I was an aide de camp before that.
Oh goodness. Well done, you.
Thank you.
Yes, what a wonderful accomplishment in such a short career.
Well, I have a good captain to follow, and that makes a great deal of difference.
Yes, I have heard very flattering things about this Phaedra. I should like to meet her when she returns to town.
Perhaps I could have a bit of a get together. Sort of a I've just come back into town, and perhaps a small nothing too large, but perhaps a small I don't know, a tea event or some. I should do some brainstorming, but perhaps I could, invite you and Miss Fitzgerald and Captain Sheridan and Miss Petrova, and just have an opportunity for everyone to meet each other. And I know that there's the balls and everyone meets each other at the balls and things like that, but it's just so impersonal. And would that be something?
I would be happy to attend such an event.
Oh yes, a soiree sounds absolutely delightful. I should love to meet all of these people.
Excellent. I shall start planning right away.
There, you see, that's the perfect thing to throw your attention into, to take your mind off all of these other things.
Yes, there will be no vodka.
Probably wise.
No, yes, I should agree. Perhaps an afternoon event to ensure that it's just at the appropriate hour for some light refreshments, but nothing too heavy or inappropriate.
And
I'm
you can tell
sure
he's
it shall be delightful.
Oh, okay, sorry. You can tell he's talking about. He's not like judging you based on the rumors. He's just like, yes, I also had a hangover.
Delightful.
Do you enjoy a good party, Lieutenant?
I do, yes. I tend to be the sober man out, but I do enjoy seeing everyone get together, and I greatly enjoy dancing.
There shall have to be dancing on, Miss, my dear Phoebe.
Well, I should certainly, I shall see about finding a violinist at minimum. You can't have dancing without some sort of instrumentation, and I'm not sure anything more than a violinist is appropriate for the afternoon, but I shall do some research.
That sounds delightful.
Well, I look forward to it a great deal. And he just kind of bows to you both, and I think that would
Good afternoon! And Anna waves to him. She's completely delighted at this development. She's like, I sense drama, and I like it. And then once he's out of earshot, she continues, is that the young man that you were mentioning also in your speech the other night?
Him too?
I think so, yes. You mentioned that someone had been dancing with your friend Lydia. And
Yes. They did seem to be hitting it off rather well. And I think I should like to continue encouraging things in that direction, as long as Lydia seems amenable to it.
but of course. Well, I shall do whatever I can to assist you in mending things with your friends, as you say. I always enjoy a good party, and it is always my pleasure to do a little bit of how shall we say, encouraging for people to be friendly together.
Yes, encouraging. You're very good at encouraging, Anna.
I am, yes. Yes, I am. That is my joy in life. But back to you and Miss Paterva.
We don't need to talk about that.
We very much do. I asked you a question, and then the lieutenant interrupted us, and he was very pleasant, so I don't regret it. But I do wish for an answer. Do you wish for this to be temporary?
I have honestly not given the idea a moment's thought.
I think perhaps maybe you should, and then get back to me.
I feel like
What it
Anna's
does-
figured it out.
She knows. She can
Looks
see the
that way.
chemistry a mile away.
It would be very prudent. You know, Miss Pajova's got a name attached to herself. There's a legacy there. It's a smart match. You know, we get on tolerably, so it would not be the worst person in the world to spend the bulk of the hours of one's day with. I'll think it over.
Anna is giving her a very skeptical look. Tolerably. Let's see, what does she say? I do suggest you think it over. Because relationships end in one of three ways. Marriage, breakup, or death. And hopefully we're leaving the third one completely off the table entirely. But of the other two, you may wish to consider which is more preferable to you. And just think things through before you make any decisions.
All right. Phoebe has kind of a like lightly perplexed expression.
That is all I wish to say.
Very well. I shall think on it.
Very good.
That sounds like the end of that scene. Do either of you want anything else from this interaction?
Nope, I'm
Or
good.
is Phoebe
Anna
left
has
alone
said
with her
her
thoughts?
piece.
Anna's satisfied. Delightful.
She's like she's planted the thoughts, and now she's just gonna sit back and finger staple.
Then I think the facilitator's scene will be Edith would like to come find Lydia wherever Lydia is.
Okay. How is this the same day as the visit to Phoebe, or a
It could
different
be the day after.
Okay.
It's I am. Edith seems like a patient child, so I think it can be the next day.
She'll lie in wait.
There was a lot going on that first day.
I would also like to pay a resolve token for Lady Hilda to visit in the middle of this.
I don't think we. Let's see. You know what? I am framing it. I'm happy to just have that happen, since I feel like that doesn't negatively affect anyone except you,
Okay.
and you paying yourself a resolve token. I mean,
that
you
would be
can
weird.
unclick it and click it again
I'm
if you
still
want.
figuring out
but-
the hang of the resolve
Yeah,
tokens.
they're definitely like I'm very much enjoying how into them you all are. That's great, and there's definitely times when I'm like, I think, can we just make that happen? Yeah, let's just make that happen. Awesome, Lady Hilda. Does that sound like a thing that would be fun for you?
Yep.
Awesome. So what does Lydia like take tea in a parlor, or
Let's see.
where would
What
where
are
would-
the
where would she
Fitzgerald
be?
situation? I
Yeah.
think they still have their house. Maybe they don't have a lot of accoutrements. So yeah, so probably like a maybe in her room. She's having a lot of
Okay.
feelings.
Okay. Then as you're sort of in your room having your feelings, Edith, just like the door opens, the door closes quietly behind her. She just slips in, walks over to, I'm imagining there's a window seat, walks over to the window seat, sits on the window seat. She's kind of kicking her feet, and just sort of looking at you, patiently but expectantly.
Yes, my dear. And then kind of
Are you coming out of your
exasperated
room today?
I had not really considered it.
It's lunchtime. Soon.
I know. That's why I have this tea in front of me, and she like gestures to this tray of sandwiches and a cup of tea that she has. I won't starve. You need not concern yourself about that.
All right. I'm glad you won't starve. I've been hearing lots of things in the village.
So have I.
Would you like to hear what they are?
No. I can't imagine you're going to tell me anything I don't already know.
Are they true?
No.
None of them?
None of them. Well, I don't know about the ghost in Phoebe's house, and I don't know
She
Lieutenant
makes like
Brambleshire
a
to really.
she makes like a dismissive face. Edith clearly does not believe in ghosts.
And I don't know Lieutenant Brambleshire well enough to know whether that rumor is true, and I have not been following any of Phaedra's exploits in the last 4 years, since she decided that she didn't wish to remain in correspondence and stopped
Wouldn't
replying
you
to my
know if
letters.
someone was courting you?
I do know that no one is courting me,
It seems like
and
the
I
sort
am
of
not
thing you
with
should know.
child. I no
Well, that's a
one is-
relief. Lady Hilda would never approve. You could tell
No,
me
it
though.
seems like
I would keep your
no.
secret.
I'm not with child Edith, but I appreciate your concern.
Well, congratulations.
What?
I'm not being with child.
My dear sister, please rest assured that there is absolutely no danger of that. And Lydia's actually like laughing a little bit. She's like, okay.
Edith looks pleased. She is not laughing.
We're-
But she is pleased. She wasn't making a joke. But she seems delighted to have. She seems glad to have made you feel a little bit better, or at least a little more entertained, if not better.
Yes, but there is no veracity whatsoever to any of the rumors concerning me.
So why did you break off the engagement?
I just felt that it was the right thing to do. I Irina is a wonderful person, and I felt that not having true loving feelings for her as a spouse should was unfair to her. And I know that many people engage in marriages of convenience. It's just never felt right to me. Even though I know that I've been trying to do it myself for the past couple of years. But I'm just, my heart isn't in it. And it felt unfair to condemn her to a lifetime of lukewarm feelings when she deserves to be treasured and cherished as she's wonderful.
Lady Hilda says you read too many books.
She has often said so in my presence, that's not a secret.
Do you think I shouldn't read books?
No, books are wonderful. There's nothing wrong with books. They broaden your imagination. They teach you things that you may not learn elsewhere. They're good for all manner of things. Like, read as many books as you want. I don't care. And honestly, Lady Hilda is a little bit too conscientious sometimes, if you ask me.
Is this resolve token what I'm hoping it is?
I would like to offer a resolve token for Lydia to give Edith an inappropriate book for her age at this moment as a suggestion.
Yes, I love it. That's perfect. Where are my resolve tokens? Actually, I have the very thing. And she goes to her bookshelf and plucks off, possibly not intentionally, but plucks off one of her more suggestive romance-style books and offers it to her sister. And she's like, "That one is simply wonderful. It takes you to so many places, and it's so romantic, and it's just wonderful. You'll love it."
Edith,
Don't tell
like,
Lady Hilda I lent it to you.
is like turning the book over in her hands, like her expression. She is clearly curious about this book, and like excited that her older sister has given her big sister she looks up to in some ways has given her a book, but also like deeply skeptical. And she like turns it over, and she turns it over in her hand, and like cracks open to a random page, and her eyes get really wide, and she closes it real quickly again. I think that's the problem. The curiosity and what was the other thing? The imagination. I think that's supposed to be the problem. I don't want it to get in the way
Of what exactly?
of restoring the family reputation.
Oh, that.
Since that's on me now.
You're 14.
Well, you're not doing it.
I'm
And
not.
like vibe is not like blamey vibe, but vibe is definitely like clearly this is the fact. Like you're not doing it,
We
so I will
have
have.
other siblings. All of them would have to fail for it to be on you. First of all. Second of all,
I could do it.
I believe that you could, but you are so young. You shouldn't need to worry about such things, and I'm so sorry that you apparently have.
I'm not worried.
You're clearly worried if you think that you're in charge of restoring our reputation.
I'm not worried. And I think this is when Lady Hilda arrives.
Lydia, Edith, lunchtime.
As Edith rapidly hides the book under her skirts.
Lydia looks up and is like, "Oh, hello, Lady Hilda. She's like, I was eating lunch. I wasn't really gonna talk to people today, but takes a bracing sip of her tea and says, "Yes, of course. Thank you so much for visiting us today. I suppose we should all go down and eat something."
We
And
were
she
just
kinda
talking about how important the family fortunes are.
Yes, we were. That is always at the forefront of our minds.
Hilda stares at Edith.
Edith has a very, very good, innocent and earnest expression, and she is turning it on now.
And then she stares at Lydia.
Lydia pretends not to notice and finishes her tea.
We are not prepared to add another member to this family, so if you will come with me.
Lady Hilda, I told you, perhaps I was not explicit enough in my letter, but I assure you that rumor is not true.
She just assured me too. She assured me that none of the rumors are true. I believe her.
There must be some reason why the town is speaking of it.
I can't imagine why. Genuinely, I can't. I haven't been with anybody since Irina. I wasn't with anybody else when I was with Irina. And I don't know what else to tell you if you don't believe me.
Very well. Come.
Lydia gets up from her chair, but she's very flustered now.
Edith is like doing the tennis match again, while also trying to be not noticed. Like she's making herself very small in the window seat.
Lydia
Now.
follows Lady Hilda out of the room.
Edith
Now,
follows too.
We must consider how to get your name out in a more positive manner, so that you can ultimately provide a match. Because I know the rumor about you having found someone wealthier to court is not true.
Lydia just kind of does a 1,000-yard stare to a spot over Hilda's shoulder, and then turns back to her more fully and is like, "How do you know?"
If it was, I would have known about it.
All right,
Maybe
fair
he's
enough.
not wealthy yet, but he will be once he has a title. Edith like makes an I'm helping face, but just at Lydia, and like schools it back as soon as Lady Hilda starts to turn around, if she does.
Oh. Well, that would not be such a terrible match, and really, we must need any match at all at this point. But even had you been 5 years younger, that would still be quite a suitable match, I believe.
I'm 27. I can still bear children if my partner and I wish for that.
But she's not doing it yet.
Do you have any feelings for the lieutenant?
I met him 3 days ago.
Surely you must have some thoughts.
He's a lovely dancer and a polite conversationalist. I've been slightly busy realizing that people are talking about a lot of other things to do with me and having a lot of assumptions about me and people I care about deeply and wish not to hurt. And for some reason thinking that I'm pregnant, which I'm not. I've had some other priorities in the past 3 days.
Well, I think he would accept an invitation here as some sort of leave from his military responsibilities.
Fine,
We can invite the
him. I don't
captain as
care.
well, and
No,
we'll
don't
make
invite
sure
him.
that
I suppose it would hardly be appropriate for us to invite him and not her.
Haven't you resolved that silly little tiff between you already?
She made it very clear the other night that she still despises my very existence. So, no.
Well, I shall not invite the captain.
You can't invite him without inviting her, so you may as well. It can't hurt anything, except possibly to cause her to hate me more, but there's nothing I can do about that, as she made perfectly clear, so...
I could talk to the captain when she's here. So you won't have to.
Thank you, Edith. You're very kind.
I know.
Lydia spares her a fond smile.
Lydia, you know I have concerns for you and your reputation, but if someone is truly that averse to your company and truly hates you that much, I do not want them in my home.
Edith is nodding enthusiastically.
Lady Hilda, you're very good. I do appreciate it.
Perhaps another arrangement can be made in order to bring you into the lieutenant's company.
Lydia thinks about this for a minute and then just kind of throws up her hands like, do what you will. I cannot pretend to care very much at the moment. I do not object to seeing the lieutenant. He was very pleasant. But I was interrupted from my tea and should now like some lunch, and I'm going to go eat some, and you may join me if you will.
I shall consider the matter.
I'll be right there. I think I forgot something in my room. And
She's
Edith
gonna hide the book.
sure is. Edith scurries off to hide the book.
Amazing. Lady Hilda, I do not mean to be impatient with you. You are not telling me anything that I have not considered very much already. And I wish to do right by the family, and by you as my godmother, and I do appreciate your concern. I just feel very overwhelmed by all of it.
I know I know you do, and I only wish to be of assistance.
Thank you, you're very good. And then she turns to go to the dining hall.
Delightful.
And Hilda is going to the dining hall too.
Edith will show up in the dining hall once the book is well hidden. And I think that's our novel chapter, unless I have
Yeah.
missed anything.
I love it.
Oh my god,
What?
Hilda.
Wow!
She went so
That,
hard.
yeah!
That was incredible.
Amazing.
It was impeccable. Rebecca, you did such a good job.
Oh my god. What a legend.
I love
He's
her.
terrifying, and I mean that as a compliment.
She knows.
She does know. She's doing it on purpose. Wow. Oh, reputation phase, y'all.
Oh boy.
Who thinks they earned one or more reputation tags?
I feel like I earned something negative with all of that backbiting, but probably acted on desire in a way that compromised your duty or morality.
Yeah. What tag do
Ooh.
you think you earned?
I'm gonna look up the tags.
And
'Cause-
delightful. Ooh, and that will trigger a condition. So it's but tag first.
Ooh.
What else have we got?
Oh shit! I got a condition now. Ooh. she's gonna
Yeah.
blow.
So you'll pick one of those two conditions.
Okay, I'm looking
Once
up
you've
the
picked your
stick.
tag. If anything, like you don't have to have earned something if you don't think anything
Oh
fits.
no, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have
think
the sheet
Lydia earned
open.
either way.
Yeah, I don't have the sheet open. There she is. My eyes are too tired for this tiny text.
Think I got a positive tag for securing a personal invitation from someone of higher social status than yourself
Hey.
Oh yeah.
in being able to call upon Lady Pembroke.
Yeah. You did.
I'm just gonna
Not a-
make up one. I should have played
Yeah.
cold when I did that, but I'm gonna make one up. Cruel.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. I'm trying to figure out what my tag's gonna be.
Yeah, and the ones on the sheets are a starting point. You can certainly come up with something tailored to
Okay.
your specific situation. Like continental, for example.
Continental's
Just
so
caught
good.
my eye. Very good.
I could take black sheep. I feel like that, like, but her family is also, like, her servants.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she would probably, like, be like, yeah, I did that thing, I'm bad.
But yeah, you can pick whichever one sounds more fun to you, and then it
Oh.
will be in effect until, as long as you have at least 3 negative tags. So once you or someone else uses one of those as a, basically turns it into a resolve token,
Mhm.
then the tag will no longer be in effect.
So how does that work? Does it take the place of a resolve token in a given action?
Yeah, so it
Okay.
would say at the if if at a future chapter someone else would like to twist the narrative in a way that is perhaps not optimal for Irina, you could, instead of saying I offer you a resolve token, it would be something like, well, clearly the people you are talking to are aware that you are notoriously scandalous, therefore I would like to propose, and then your twist would have something to do with that, like a natural like they don't believe what you said because you are known to spread rumors, or something along those. Like basically, you twist the narrative. You invite and twist the narrative that is related to the tag, and then instead of handing a resolve token, the tag is spent, and Heather would, if she accepted the suggestion, would delete the negative tag and accept the consequence of whatever just happened.
Okay.
Heather could also decide to do that for herself. Clearly, they know that I am cruel, therefore I would like this to happen, and that would use up that tag.
And then remove the negative condition.
Yeah, I believe only the player of the main character can remove a positive tag, if I remember correctly, but anyone can ask to spend a negative tag. Deferential.
Mm-hmm. Phoebe knows her place.
Anyone else this go round?
I don't
Okay.
think that Lou's reputation moved one way or the other.
Okay.
Round.
Totally
Same
fair.
for Lydia. I think she's not in any worse situation than she currently was.
Okay.
And or did anything particularly positive.
Okay. So they will stand pat. Then we will have another epistolary phase. So another flurry of letters in the day or two after these
Lydia would
visits.
like to start this off by composing an apology letter to Irina.
Which is hilarious
Ooh.
because Irina would like to start this off by composing an apology to Lydia.
Delightful. Would you like to one of you send it and the other respond, or would you like to have send apology letters that cross in the mail?
I would like them to cross
Ooh.
in the mail. That sounds
Yes.
fantastic.
Delightful.
Yes.
Let's hear Lydia's first, and then we'll hear Irina's.
Okay. Dear Irina, I realize that this overture may be quite late, and I do apologize for not doing a more thorough job sooner. My only excuse is that I felt that it was best if I just removed myself quietly without a lot of fanfare, and I didn't realize that doing so would bereave you of the explanation that is due to you, and leave you with conflicted feelings. So I apologize for my misjudgment in that regard. I do also apologize for any hurt I may have caused you by breaking off our engagement so close to the marriage. The only defense I can offer is that it did not feel right to enter into a binding contract with such a wonderful person who deserves to be treasured and cherished more than I can. Having felt romantic feelings in the past for another, when I realized that I did not have them for you, I felt that tying you to me for life would deny you the chance to find someone who truly cherished you in the way that you deserve. And I could not do it, and there was no other motive involved at all. It is not true that I am seeing someone else. I merely wished to give you the chance that you deserve for true happiness. That is all. If you don't believe me, I understand. But I wished to at least give you a true apology and my best wishes for your health and happiness in the future. With my warmest regards, Lydia Fitzgerald.
Delightful. And I'm imagining like a montage where like we see Lydia sitting in her room at her desk writing the letter.
It's a
and
split
we cut to
screen.
Irina. Yes, there you
It's
go.
a split screen.
As the snow falls outside. Writing another letter.
Yeah, Irina will start it. Like, it says dearest, and then it's crossed out a couple times.
Oh.
Oh no.
Because, like, she starts most of her letters with dearest, and then she, like, was like, nope, 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 not going that far. 2. Miss Lydia Fitzgerald. I do want to apologize for my behavior in Phoebe's sitting room, and I was out of hand, and I knew the rumors probably weren't true. I am sorry for my behavior towards you in the last few days. Sorry, that's my voice going out, and I just realized I've completely fucking dropped Irina's accent. So give me a minute. Coughing up my lungs.
Oh, poor thing.
Oh.
I
You
apologize.
don't need to do the accent.
I
if
know
it's-
it doesn't actually hurt. I took a bunch of cough medicine, so I'm like.
Oh no.
Phoebe understands.
Poor Phoebe.
I apologize for my behavior. It has been uncalled for. And I promise to no longer backbite you and give such underhanded compliments. You are very important to Phoebe, and if you are her friend, then I must imagine that she finds you of good quality and character. And as such, and since I hold her opinion in highest regard, I would like to perhaps clean the slate between us and start anew. Perhaps not as friends, but at the very least as polite acquaintances. Truly, Irina Petrova. Yeah, that's her letter.
So sad. I love it. I can provide some backstory for some of Lydia's letter or I can save it for another conversation later if people prefer.
Whatever you prefer. Whatever Lydia would like to do.
Just in general, I feel like she had genuine feelings for Phoebe, and remembers that she was looking forward to that partnership, and it's been a long time, and she's kind of moved on, but she also wants to be in a marriage where she can feel that again. So yeah.
It's lovely. See if any of that comes out in character in the incoming days, but that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a letter you would like to write, or would either of you like to respond to those letters? If any connections need to write letters.
Lou would like to write to Phoebe.
I would say, I was going to say, actually say real quick too, you can also, like, if your main character doesn't want to write a letter, but one of the connections you control does, you can use one of your letters on that too. But first, Lou is going to write to Phoebe.
All right. Dear Phoebe, it was lovely to see you at my estate several days ago. I would very much like you to call upon me again, perhaps perhaps this Friday would be a good time. I do wish to advise you, if advice would be wanted, um, that uh, if you ought not to be in a relationship with someone who does not make you happy. There's no shame in breaking off a courtship. I should not. I I will note that until I had no reason to believe. But backtrack. Um, backtracking to there's no shame in breaking off a courtship. That is it. That it is something that I know from my experience. That it is better to not be courting anyone than to be courting someone who does not make you happy. So something for you to consider before we meet again. Uh, Sincerely, Lady Lou Pembroke.
I mean, though,
So how do I compel a letter?
You say, "I would like to compel a letter," and then you tell us who you'd like the letter to be from, and we forget if it is a negotiation or something that just happens.
From Anna to Arena about literally anything.
I'm just gonna double check real quick. Okay, if the author of the letter is a major character or connection, this counts as compelling the author to do something. Negotiation process should be entered into as usual. So, so you can get without a negotiation, you can get a one-off letter. So if you're like, I need a letter from Phoebe's doctor saying that she doesn't have to go to any more parties and be near vodka ever again, then you can do that without a negotiation. In this case, it would be a negotiation. So you would tell Marina what you're looking for from Anna, or if it was literally anything.
Literally anything.
Then Marina can decide.
I feel like she knows.
I do know.
Excellent. How do
I
we
think
feel
I
about
know
it?
anyway. All right, yeah, I'm good. Let's do it.
Awesome. So Anna,
okay,
Anna gets a resolve token.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ditch the terrible French accent and try to practice it more for next time. Dear Miss Petrova, thank you so much for the invitation to the New Year's ball. It was an excellent time. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I only regret that I did not have the opportunity to make your acquaintance further, as Phoebe is my dearest friend in the whole world, and her happiness means very much to me, and I do so hope that I should be able to make your acquaintance further very soon. From everything she's told me, you're absolutely delightful, and from the spectacle that your party was, I have no doubt that that is true. And as two people who are not from England in the neighborhood, I feel that we would have much in common, and I should so love to call on you at your earliest convenience. In the meantime, I do wish you well and Happy New Year once again. Most sincerely, Anna Port.
Delightful. So Anna gets a resolve token.
All right.
And then maybe this is a good time to remind everybody that the connections you control can use their resolve tokens. So like if Lady Hilda wants to do some shit, Lady Hilda can do some shit.
I think Lou will use her second letter to write to Lydia.
Ooh.
Dearest Lydia, I hope that you are well, and I look forward to when we might be able to see each other again. I recently finished reading Cordelia, and The villain is such a rake. You will love him, you will love to hate him, you will also love him. A- I will, and I should also like to. I do not know if you are, um, I do not know if you are willing to speak of it yet, but at whatever time you are, I do wish to help you improve your reputation in society in whatever way is agreeable to you. Uh, Most likely not in the same way that your godmother would like to improve your reputation. I dare hope that I can be of more assistance in a way that better encompasses what you would actually want. And if any of my connections can be of assistance to you, I will deploy them. Yours, Lady Lupin.
Ooh, making the power move.
Hi, Allie.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, Lydia has received both of these letters. She would reply to both of them. I don't know if anybody has a preference between either Irina or Lou.
I also have a second letter for Irina.
Yeah,
So.
you got one letter, Lydia.
Okay. I'm gonna get it to Irina, and assume that the letter to Lou just kind of says, "Yeah, I'll come visit soon, and we can discuss. Thanks." Okay. Dear Irina, thank you so much for your kind letter. I do not know if you've received my other letter by now. I wrote it before I received yours, but I do appreciate it. I would love nothing more than to just start over, and especially for Phoebe's sake, I wish there to be no ill will between us, although I do understand if you are hurt. I would not blame you in the slightest. But I look forward to seeing you at whatever event we may find ourselves at next, and I assure you that I will do my best in the future to treat you with the utmost respect. Sincerely, Lydia.
Okay. So yeah, Irina's gonna write a letter. To the editor of The Scandal Pot. I am calling to write to you about your most recent... paper? I found its integrity to be lacking incredibly. Just incredibly. After all, everyone knows that I broke off the engagement with Lydia Fitzgerald. And to imply that she is with child is outrageous completely. She is nothing but loyal and a sweet girl. It would be inappropriate for you to continue to rake her name through the mud like this. And I definitely would not like to see that you fall on the wrong side of society should you continue to lambast and be completely incorrect about your reporting. Regards, Irina Petrova. Yeah. Rita, I will sue/assassinate you.
Nice scandal sheet you got there. Be a shame if something happened to it.
Yeah. I have an Ivan.
Not only does he find dogs in walls, he will also find fruit.
I mean, he
He will
hasn't found a
also
dog in the wall
firebomb
yet.
he will also firebomb a damn newspaper
That
office.
is brilliant.
His missiles have
Amazing.
names. I mean, don't cross this guy.
Amazing. I don't know what this does to the rumor and scandal phase, but we don't have one on this in this half of the cycle, so it stands for now. But wow,
I
that's
Maybe that's why we don't have rumors and
that's-
scandals.
yeah, you scared him.
Can
Fabulous.
I play a scandalous token?
Oh, how would you like to do this?
For him to completely just run off with this story and make up some crazy bullshit for the next round.
You would like to burn your scandalous tag for the for an environmental condition, effectively.
Yes.
That doesn't exist in this game. I love it.
So who's running the scandal sheet, or do we know?
So no, so we don't have currently a connection who is running it. I can look at the rules to create a connection if we feel like that's someone we want to interact with. We could certainly just add a person, or it can be something that is happening in the background and the person never appears on stage, but we know that this is something that all the characters know that there is crazy gossip happening. So there's different ways to handle it, but yeah, that's not someone we've encountered so far. We just know that he exists now. So delightful. So let me just make a note because I'm gonna need to remember that for last time. Ideas. Scandalous tag.
And I lose my black sheep.
Yeah. So this is just make sure I'm understanding correctly. This is basically the editor is not daunted and doubles down effectively is what's happening.
Basically, oh, you just revealed information to me. I'm gonna run with it instead of
yeah.
Which is half of Arena's intent. She's like, my reputation could take a hit. I am foreign. Lydia has a bit more to lose in this game.
and attacks Irina instead of continuing on the vein. So interesting. So you it gets what she wants, but what she wants is having a reputation dragged through the mud. I love it.
Yeah, basically she's like jumping in front of the scandal bullet for Lydia.
So excellent. So we will remember for next time that there are rumors both of her her reputation being terrible. She broke off the engagement, and also she might be willing to murder people.
She might be willing to murder people. She definitely is a rake and a scandal.
Lovely.
Can't wait for next rumor and scandal cycle.
I know. It's gonna be great.
And did I hear Rebecca say something there, or was that just an artifact?
That was just
Oh, quite cool. All right. Does anyone else owe a letter? Other than Sebastian, it sounds like?
I have both of my letters still.
Oh yeah, you do. You did all your apologizing last time, so you and I put the first round of apologies this time.
Yeah, we went on the apology tour, like both in the epistolary section and in the novel chapter.
Why stop now?
Why, why bother? Phoebe's gonna write to her Aunt Darling. Dearest Aunt Darling, I believe you're married. I'm uncertain, but surely in your many years, you've experienced what it is to actually be in love with someone. I'd be very curious to understand your experience of the matter. Someone has led me to believe that that's something. I've mostly been focused on the prudence of the match with Arena, but I don't know what... How do you know if you have feelings for another person? It's just very confusing. Your niece, Phoebe.
And let me check what the facilitator is allowed to do regarding letters. Facilitator may write as many letters as required from a major character or connection they control, or any other person necessary. Yeah. So I think Darling writes back, and it's not a long letter, but it does come with it does come with a small package. Dearest Phoebe, I am also sometimes unsure if I am married.
Yes.
When spouse is
Mood.
away at sea, this is a liminal state that becomes clear in time. But that's not really what you asked. I am not sure I can adequately describe the feeling of being in love in a letter. But I am very pleased that you are asking this question. It is, I think, an important question for you, whatever you decide. I have enclosed a book that I believe you will find helpful in exploring this. I will look forward to hearing your thoughts on this piece of fine literature. Your loving aunt, Darling. And she has enclosed a copy of the same book that Lydia gave to Edith.
Delightful. Phoebe opens the package, like, looks at the book, opens it to a random page, skims it, and she's like, oh goodness, she can't be serious. And, like, puts it under her pillow.
The letters. Have you had a letter from Lou?
Yeah, Lou's done both of their letters.
I don't know why I can't keep track of these. Thank you, Lou. Phoebe.
Lady Caroline will write to Lou. My dear cousin, good news. I can account for every single one of the dogs, so I don't believe that mine is the one that is beleaguering Miss Petrova. I wish her all the best in identifying the source of the scratching and unusual squealing. Please do let her know that I happen to know a very good exterminator who will make efforts to capture rather than kill, should the need arise. Your loving cousin, Lady Caroline.
Amazing.
Of course, she wouldn't have lost track of a pug. Right. Any other player letters that need to get written?
I would like to spend a resolve token for Sebastian to write to Phaedra and update her.
Okay.
All right, Sebastian, what's been going on?
And he's going to start it very, very... My dear Captain, since you've been away, I feel the need to fill you in on what is going on in town. This is definitely an interesting, probably the most interesting dispatch I've ever written. So forgive me if I am not quite as well spoken as I had. I have no clue who some of these people are, even. A recent scandal magazine hit the paper route. It seems poor Miss Fitzgerald has been quite maligned. Miss Irina Petrova has not made herself known in society since the party, except for a few outings to Miss Phoebe Hawkins. Miss Phoebe Hawkins has gone to several places, including to Lady Lou's house, as far as I'm aware. I also ran into them at the ran into her at the park, where she was walking with her good friend Anna, who is quite a lovely girl. I hope you come back soon. I could use your guidance in all of this. Warm regards, your Lieutenant Sebastian.
Delightful. Sally, if Phaedra would like to write a letter, she's welcome to. If not, that is also entirely fine. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I think Phaedra just sends like a quick note that says like, just has the details of, it's very brief. It's the details of when she should be back, and also a note that it seems as if their hopes to be posted in the area for a while will probably come to fruition.
Delightful. And I think, unless I miscounted in the process of losing track of all counting, I believe that is our epistolary phase. Ooh, good timing us. So the only thing we'll have left tonight then is the upkeep phase, which everyone can set their monologue token back to I have a monologue token. Set your I have monologued back to no for the next cycle. Did anyone not monologue on this cycle? Other than Phaedra,
Arena.
who wasn't here? Oh!
Yeah, because I forgot to spend my bonus one.
Oh! Then Irina needs to monologue.
She does. I gotta figure out on what.
So many choices.
I would like to hear her monologue as she's writing to the editor of the gossip rag.
Ooh.
Apologies are fine and good and well enough, but it's not. I feel my slight has been greater than just an apology will serve. Poor Miss Fitzgerald's reputation is in the toilet, and mine. I mean, I'm foreign. I can take a bit more scandal than she can at the moment, given her family's position. So, why not? I'll take credit for ruining our engagement, and we'll see what this asshole comes up with. Well, I will not tell Phoebe that I did this for her, but I do hope that she is pleased to see her friend in better spirits. Yeah, that's her.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's devastating.
Thank you.
Oh man, that is really sweet. I desperately want to see Phoebe's reaction to this, which I guess we can get to.
I mean, wait till after the next rumor and scandal phase, I guess.
Yeah, Arena's gonna be just ripped.
Yeah. Remember when we were worried about recovering Lydia's reputation so that she would be acceptable in society?
Things change so quickly. All right, so everyone can click. And thank you. We burned through those tokens early, and I had lost track of who had been used. So yeah, everyone can click their monologue token checkbox, set their monologue the cycle to no for next cycle. Looking at the things. Okay. Cycles of less than 3. Everyone can add 1 resolve token to your stash. I can refresh my stash to 3. Back in business. And that's it. The next step would be review collaboration. Yeah, I know we did this at the start. Anything additional that anyone would like to add to the love to see in our game based on what happened tonight? And that will be the last thing for tonight.
I want y'all to make up some wild shit.
Okay. Wild rumors about Irina in the wake of
pissing off a
letter
scandal
to the
mag.
editor. All right.
He started taking notes.
Excellent.
It's not letting me change the sheet because I'm on my phone. So could someone?
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Great. Thank you.
And not let to give you the additional result token and the monologue token.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, and the no. Okay. Anything else that we want to add to the want to see? Does Phoebe really want to host a tea, or is that not something that is that something that she is thinking of but doesn't actually need to see on screen?
It's a maybe. I would personally, I would rather see Lady Caroline's fundraiser because selfishly,
Yeah.
I want to indulge in that menagerie. But
I will make a note to the effect of. Oh, I'll add a. Because it's going to be 2 weeks before the next one, so I'm going to add a next novel chapter question mark to that note, to the animal fundraiser in the anything we'd like to see. Awesome. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's amazing. I love it so much.
Delightfully tangly. So next time we will start up with another novel chapter, and with the return of our captain, and we'll
Yes.
see where all of these things go. Thank you all.
I can't wait to see
Thank you.
Phaedra's reaction to all of this.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. This is gonna be amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
delighted.
Yes,
Wow.
thanks everybody, and thanks Hannah for running.
yes,
Um,
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
I did stream, so I will have a link to the
Oh,
video.
a link. Excellent. I still
Yes.
have to go back to the first one. I'm so torn between I want to hear you all and I don't want to hear myself, and this is a problem.
They
Same.
sound great. Everyone sounds great. I literally I just died laughing through the entire thing. It was absolutely delightful. And thank you Heather again for recording. This is
Yeah.
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 That's a lovely thing to have. Awesome. All right.